Oh.
Oh, Paul, take video of my phone too, okay?
Once you're done dancing, were you done?
Okay, bossy.
Okay, we're back. See, my son decided to join me on one of my bench-only days, and he's like, "It's cool, Dad. You don't even bench 400. I can handle this." He always likes to check the integrity of the equipment before I go lift, make sure I'm safe. And there's me doing some auxiliary calf work because I have tiny calves. So I actually had to skip one of my training logs. There is no part 2 for the August and into September. There's no part 2 for the August training summary, and there's none of September. My travel schedule is just insane, and I just couldn't keep up with it. And I'm sorry, guys. I really do my best on this stuff, but these things take me longer than almost anything else to do. And so, yeah, just didn't get it done. And here's a conservative max session with Paul's calf in the way, so you all can enjoy his veiny calves. So there's 610 right there. So, just to update you, I'd had a little bit of a rough training cycle. I'd been dealing with a little bit of lower back pain. It didn't get worse from training, and it wasn't the same place I hurt before the Arnold, but it would kind of bother me here and there. And so I just took me longer to warm up. I've been working with Rory Alter, and she'd been helping me out with some physical therapy stuff. And we worked on some stuff, tweaking my form and whatnot. And I don't know, this training cycle just didn't feel like it was going as great. I actually, a month out from Nationals, this seems like it'd be a theme, I missed 565 for a triple, which pissed me off. But it was just, I was just kind of overreached and whatnot, and just dealt with it. So anyways, but I know that it was just a bad day, and kind of kept coming back for it. So this day, so I'm conservative. I was conservative maxing twice a week and deadlifting twice a week, benching 4 times a week. And at this point, this is 2 weeks out from the meet. This is 2 Saturdays out. I had been feeling great on deadlifts. The week before, I'd hit 630 for 9, which is all-time PR. And on this day, I was going 655 for sets of 2 and then an AMRAP. And I actually periscoped this. Some of you guys probably saw it. And on my AMRAP, hit 6, which is an all-time PR. But on the last rep, and you're going to see it, I rushed it off the ground and I locked my knees too early. And then to get my hips back under me, I allowed my lumbar to go into some flexion. And I paid for it because I strained my lower back. So, not the place I wanted to be 2 weeks out from Nationals with a strained lower back. And so you can see here I took time off squatting. So that was on Saturday. I was scheduled to squat. That was on a Friday. I was scheduled to squat Saturday. Obviously did not do that. Didn't squat Sunday. This is Monday. I'm doing feet up bench press. That's a conservative max for 360. I felt really good. But with feet up takes off that. That was 375. The next day, 2 days later, conservative maxing again on bench, and that's the fastest 375 it ever moved for me. So I was feeling really good about bench, because if I'm conservative maxing that much, that means that nearly 400 is going to be there. But anyway, strained lower back. I was able to come back and start squatting, and it felt actually okay. One thing that's good about me is I tend to recover from stuff pretty quickly, but just not the place I wanted to be going in the Nationals. My confidence was pretty low. Squats had already been feeling kind of meh, and then to strain my lower back, where deadlifts had been feeling great. It was pretty I don't want to say upsetting, but it's just, annoying. I've never really had a meet going into it, other than nationals last year, where like I felt really healthy. So this was that first day back squatting, and I knew I could do it, but I could not allow myself to go into any kind of flexion, and so I really had to brace hard with my abdominal wall. But did it, and wasn't the worse for wear. Felt better the next day, and then better the day after that. And then, in a way, when I strained my lower back before the Arnold, it was okay because it was a week out, and I just tapered, So I didn't get a perfect taper in, but I just kind of really, backed off on the weights, and it worked out okay because I'd already gone through my overreaching phase. Here, I'm supposed to be in the middle of my overreaching phase, and I can't really squat the way I'm supposed to. So it was, it was frustrating. But everybody has stuff they deal with, so you just fucking deal with it. Eric Thomas talks about this. Just deal with it. Whatever you got to do, just deal with it. So, the other thing, I was kind of, from a scientific perspective, the scientist in me was very interested to see how I do at this meet, because if I'm being objective and honest, I have every reason at this meet to have a bad meet, because I was injured coming in. I'd had some not so great training sessions, and let's be honest, Jesse Norris was going to be there, and for those of you who don't know who Jesse Norris is, his best total is 2050 at 205, which is insane. And so, I'm a good lifter. I got silver medal in the world, set a squat record. I can't beat that. Like, if he comes in and hits his lifts, I can't beat it. And so it's like, okay, can I still get myself up, get myself motivated when I know I probably can't win if this guy hits his lift? Now, anything can happen, like somebody can bomb out, all that kind of stuff. But what was really funny, and you have these people who, they've never done anything in their life. They've contributed nothing of value. They've never accomplished anything, and they want to tell you what to do. So I had people messaging me saying, or tweeting at me saying, why are you even going to nationals? You can't win. There's no point. Why are you even bothering to go? And here's the deal. If you only compete in competitions that you know you can win, then you're just a coward. Okay? So I'm not a coward. Like, I'm gonna do it. Maybe it's impossible for me to beat Jesse, but I made up my mind that was going to be decided on the platform, and not because I just didn't show up, not because I was a coward. Okay, so that's what I made up my mind up to do. So on this day, this was about a week after. No, not quite a week after I injured my lower back. I had 5:35 for sets of 5, and it was moving okay. And my buddy Ryan Doris came over. Ryan was also competing in Raw Nationals, and he had bench and deadlift on this day. And we just, we hadn't had a chance to train with each other this entire training cycle because I've been traveling so much. So we decided to get one in, and it was our only training session we got in together. I joke that I see Ryan less now that he lives in Tampa than when he lived in Chicago, but we're both busy, and that's how it goes. So I had 7 sets of 5 on bench on this day with 315, and it was the best 315 has ever felt. I felt so good this day, and I just really felt like PR was going to be there at Nationals just based on how well I was handling that volume. And I actually had to go through it really quickly because my family we were having friends over for dinner, and so I was able to get through it like 7 sets of 5 in like 40 minutes. It's pretty crazy. So Doris was saying about how terrible his deadlift feels. Funny thing about Doris, when his lifts feel terrible, they actually look pretty good. So this is me. What is this? Like Thursday. I want to say 9 days before the meet. I'm squatting 7 sets of 3 with 585. That was fun. That was tough, but we got it done. And it was a real that was probably the toughest training session during the entire training cycle, and I knew it would be a good indicator. But once I finished this training session, I started to get some confidence back because, I knew if I could do that kind of volume with that kind of weight, that the squat should be there. A lot of, you can have everything tracked, you can know what you should be able to hit, but a lot of squatting comes down to confidence, and I can hit, if I hit, 550 for 8, it may say I'm good for a 670, 680 squat, but if I haven't handled really heavy weight, or if I feel unconfident about it, it may just not be there. So this was 7 sets of 3 with 335 on bench. Again, felt really good. And I just was really feeling great about my bench. You can see me with the Mark Bell slingshot cuffs on there. Those were for elbow pain I was experiencing. Here is 375. Did not move as smoothly as the previous week, but still happy with that. And then I think this is 350 for singles after that. But actually it was moving pretty smooth, all things considered. And then was actually able to do a little bit of deadlifting here with 585. And so it wasn't feeling great. Actually wasn't feeling very good at all. But, I just wanted to get some heavy doubles in and, just kind of, building that confidence going into nationals was a big thing. Oh, so I'm sorry. So this is 610 for doubles, a week out. And it did not feel good. It did not feel good at all, but, just had to really take it slow and make sure everything was going all right. This is a conservative max, my last conservative max session with 610 here. And I'm smiling because for some reason I walked it out and it felt really good. And then when it feels really good when I walk it out, if I know it's not near my max, if it's just a conservative max, I tend to just be really slow on the concentric. I guess I'm just oh, okay, I got this. And I forget that it's still 600 plus pounds, and I can't afford to do that. So then I really tried to make a point to make these heavy singles here 560 or 570. These heavy singles with 570 to make them with authority, to really get my confidence back up. And I felt like they were moving pretty good. So I think I had 7 singles here. This is the first day of the quote-unquote taper. This is 550 or 555 for 5 sets of 3, and it did not feel great, but we got it done, and that's the important thing. And I always say that tapers are worse than the actual training because in my mind I'm like, okay, it's a taper, it's going to feel good. Nope, doesn't feel good. And part of that is, when you're overreaching, at this point, it's only day 1 of the taper, so I'm still overreached. I'm still not feeling great. And so I'm not going to feel good on this day because it's still decently heavy. So it's usually the Wednesday before the meet is when I start feeling better. So these were 5 sets of triples. Didn't feel great, but I got them done, and I also I've learned not to judge individual training sessions in terms of how I'm going to do at the meet. This is 300, I believe, for sets of 5. And like I said, bench had been feeling smooth this entire training cycle, and I really felt like a PR was going to be there at nationals, and was really excited for bench. But again, when you do these big national, sorry, I straight up yawned right there. When you do these big national meets, a lot of times, just the way the judging is and the atmosphere, it's just different. So that was 495 for sets of 3. I was supposed to do 585 for sets of 3, and I just felt terrible. and felt like I was going to hurt myself. That was on Tuesday, and I cut it at 495 and just got my volume in. And again, didn't feel real good about that. Didn't know where my deadlift was going to be at the meet, but I just wanted to get my back healthy, and I felt like if I kept trying to grind away at that, it was not going to be that way. So I made a judgment call to cut my weight down and just do volume. So here's 5 sets of 4, or wait, it's either 5 sets of 4 or 4 sets of 5 with 525. But this felt a lot better. So I was pretty happy with this weight, how this moved, and kind of was starting to get more and more confident in my squat. And knew that, if I just kind of got that confidence going in of one good squat session leading in, that it would be there. I also know that if I hit my squats to start out, that it sets the tone and it makes a huge difference, and I'll probably be okay. Here's 320 for sets of 4. And these felt meh, but moved okay. Got to the meet on Wednesday, or got to the venue on Wednesday, and then time to go to war. So I was warming up in the warm-up room, and I actually felt pretty good on squats. And for those that don't know, this meet was insane. By the way, shout out to Alexander Kang for sending me this footage. I really appreciate that, man. My lovely wife, this opener 606. My lovely wife, really great, super supportive, but did not work the camera very well this day. So we only got a few videos, but that's all right. She's beautiful, so we'll give her some leeway. So yeah, 606 for the opener, 639 for my second, and actually got a little bit out of line here. I took an extra step to center myself, and it was longer to get the squat command, and just kind of the whole rep wasn't great. And so I talked about it with Ben, and Ben said, we're going to go 661. Not my best ever, but we take what's there, and we knew that it wasn't PR there, but 661 is only 7 pounds below my all-time PR, and so I wasn't too upset. And I knew I've learned to trust Ben. So, and they were being unbelievably strict at Raw Nationals, and so to hit a big squat like that at a meet where they're being really, really strict, they were red lighting a lot of people. And I knew hitting that 661 going 3 for 3 was going to set me up for a good total. So here on bench open with 358. So for those who don't know, there was 1,140 lifters, and I think there was over 150 in just my class alone. I was wearing pink socks here because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. My mother, for many of you, you don't know, my mother is battling cancer, not breast cancer, but multiple myeloma. Come to find out, multiple myeloma is maroon, so I guess I should have found that ahead of time. Got maroon socks, but wore those for mom, and got some extra inspiration from that. And for anybody asking or wondering, she's doing really well. She's definitely a fighter. So this is 380 here on my second. Shout out to I think his name's Eric Young. This guy giving the handoff. He is the best handoff man in the USAPL. He is awesome. Huge shout out to him. And yeah, just on bench, it was moving super smooth. That's the fastest I've ever done 380. And I was like, let's do it. And Ben's like, 391, which matches my previous PR. And as you're going to see here, it moves really fast. But I understand why he did that. It's a lot easier. I've fallen a little bit out of trust with Ben on bench press because he called for 397 at the Arnold and I missed it after really smoking 374. So I know 397 would have been there. I think 402 would have been there, but I understand why he made that call because we know we can get more out of my deadlift than we can out of my bench. Open with 650 on deadlift here. At this point I knew I couldn't beat Jesse, but I had a good chance to get a PR total and get second and have a really good Wilks and possibly qualify for Worlds. And so hit that 650 The next lift was 689. Got a red light on this, not sure what. But you know, felt like it moved smooth. Didn't feel as good as at Worlds, but still close. And so for my third, Ben called for 711. And 711 would give me the secure second place. There was no way I could beat Jesse, not even with like an 800-pound pull. So 711 would give me the secure second place, a PR total of 1763, and a PR Wilks of 506. So watch and enjoy the final lift.